Okay, my name is Alexis Jordan, and I did my design over the narrative design, and I was researching the effects of scripted curriculum on job satisfaction and teacher workload. So after I shared my feedback with my teammates, I received feedback on the participants section of my design. It was suggested to me that since the narrative design is gets its best results with a longer period of time for observation, that maybe I should choose someone who has more experience with scripted curriculum. So because of that, in the beginning, I had four participants that only had 7 months of experience. But I changed that to three participants with 7 months of experience and then one participant with 2 years of experience. And that feedback helped me understand that because the narrative design does require time and effort for those observations, that change will be best for my research. Um, yeah.
Yes, Miss Alexis, I'm glad that, the feedback helped you in your research methodology. That's really great. And thank you so much. My research design is survey design. I chose survey design because design. The reason is I'm trying to understand how student behavior relates to teacher burnout levels. So teacher burnout, it includes also paraprofessionals and interrelated resource teachers and also general education teachers in current classroom environments. So I chose this survey design, and I feel it is appropriate because I wanted to collect data from larger group of educators and also measuring perceptions and experiences from student behavior and burnout. So when I was planning about all these designs and planning about the research moving forward, but then in this feedback session and your reviews helped me a lot to understand the pros and cons. So I'd like to talk about my glows first because I felt very happy when I said that when I received the feedback about that survey design is clearly explained and why, for what reason I chose the design and how it helps. So that's my strength, by the way. At the same time, there are areas of improvement. That feedback has really helped. The reason is I had two surveys going on, but then the feedback according to you guys, when we put ourselves, like when we wear that shoe, we understand that because when a teacher is given, like when if we are given two types of surveys, we will have that burnout to fill in those surveys. So obviously if we put the shoes on and see, so it's good to have one survey include all possible questionnaire in that survey. That's better. So that feedback really helped me. So I've changed the methodology, like whatever I originally I had about the two surveys, but now it has come into, I made it into less, that is one survey altogether, and trying to fill in all those into the same questionnaire, like whatever I have particularly one questionnaire, and the teachers can fill in and I can take that survey design to my research level. So thank you so much for that positive or kind of feedback which helped me a lot to improve and modify my research design.
No problem, Shalini. Um, I am Miranda Coley, and I am a seventh grade teacher. And my group members shared with me information on how I could better critique or better perfect my design, in which I chose the design of correlational design. And my research is based on, let me see here, it is going to be on students, general education students, as well as students with disabilities. And it's going to be a testing. So the reason I picked it was my question is, how will the implementation of skills-based interventions impact students with disabilities to standards-based interventions of general education students? Um, and when I picked this design, it's because I am a special ed teacher, and I noticed that most students in special ed are always needing skills-based things compared to students within the general education. They're standards-based. Even though both were working on standards, I noticed that special ed students are lacking those skills. And I just wanted to know or research the fact, would it make a difference if those two could be compared with the students? Um, and the grows I got from my design was that um, the grows, I'm going with the grows first. And I appreciate the feedback, is that it can be unclear and cannot prove cause and effect. Therefore, the research may not prove the cause and effect relationship based on the skills or the actual standards based on the students. In addition, it will not give a definite answer to the research question because it may not prove, again, the cause to pinpoint a cause and effect relationship between the variables. Even with wanting to establish a cause and effect relationship, it is no sure way to prove it based on that design, because the variables are not being manipulated at all in any type of way. So, my grows were, so I did have some strengths, and those strengths were, I did describe where I was going to get my data from, and my data is coming from the iReady assessment that the students will take, and that assessment is given fall, winter, and spring of the academic school year. And it explains, and that does explain why it fits the actual research question clearly, and it tells why it connects to my study. My participants, the setting, and appropriateness was stated within the design. So I also thank them for the glows that I did get. I did have some strengths, and I really appreciated my design methodology. Did change in the sense of just remembering and having to make sure I understand that I will not get a clear answer. It's not going to be answerable, and I won't be able to pinpoint saying that it caused it or it did not cause it and prove anything in particular. But I guess it will be good to just see that, get that information and that data for feedback. So,
Yes, ma'am. And you are welcome, Miss Miranda. And yes, and I thank y'all too for all the feedback, all my growth and my glows as well.
And the last week, it was really very productive because we've been meeting like every now and then, almost for 5 days continuously. So it's been really productive. Got to learn about your designs too, because correlational and narrative, like though we know as term, but then when we get into the deeper knowledge, then we will be able to learn about more about it. So thank you so much, guys, for your
yes,
cooperation and
yes,
anytime availability. And Miss Alex is sending us the reminders, email, and the
yes,
link. And I would like panic, oh my God, I have got meeting, I forgot. So it
yeah,
was like, no, thank you so much for a lovely team for us. I really feel very glad and happy for this lovely team. I'm very thankful to you. Thank
yes,
you
me
so
as well.
much.
I just think that when we start doing the data portion, that should be very interesting to see and how we put everything together with our
Together,
design.
yeah.
Yes,
That day, that particular day that we were like pitching in each one of us and that Google Doc, it was really productive and it was really meaningful for us. Like, that's great. Nice. Thank
yes,
you.
yes, most definitely. Okay.
All right.
All right.